from the O2 Arena, London. Let's get this party started!
At the time, I didn't feel like a sportsman. I was just a local lad from Watford who fell into boxing. So I didn't understand what a sportsman was. Honestly, hand on my heart, I'm only learning that today. At the time, I was so disconnected from what a sportsman was. I was just fighting. I wanted to have a good scrap. I didn't really grasp what I was doing. I was just going with the current, and I happened to be against Dillian Whyte, someone who I faced in the amateurs.
He was your typical tough guy. That's my first initial thought of him before I started working with him. He's a natural born fighter. He has started fighting in an empty room. That's the size of a heart he has.
In Whyte, you had a dude who could talk the talk. He's a braggart, he's bombastic, he has a dynamic, not just a dynamic style, but a dynamic personality.
Ring walks and entrances are a massive part of boxing. I've seen some amazing ring walks in my time. So for me, I've always wanted to kind of give people just like good music, something that they can relate to. This is like for the British title. And then Stormzy was on his way up at the time, and I thought that's a perfect tune, Oi Rude Boy, shut up. And that was directly at Dillian, listen, shut up. Because this was the time to face off now.
I knew Dillian Whyte, real talent, you know, real good boxer. For me, it was a bit early for both of them.
He looks like a superhero who has superhuman strength. And his style at the time was search and destroy. And I used to liken him to a young George Foreman. So he was Big George 2.0. He'd just walk guys down and break them down.
Sometimes you make a fight where you can feel the street. What I mean by that is, at any time, anywhere, these two could go.
It felt like a big fight, and to be perfectly honest, it felt like a bigger fight than a British heavyweight title fight. But that's what Anthony Joshua had become, and because of the animosity that Dillian Whyte had generated in the build-up, that added to the atmosphere.
I called it bad intentions because I knew both guys wanted to hurt each other. You know, both guys wanted to damage and knock each other out.
In my third amateur fight, I'd boxed Dillian Whyte. I invited all my friends down, and I lost to Dillian Whyte. I was supposed to rematch him in the amateurs, but he got banned from the amateurs because they found out he was a professional kickboxer with a vast amount of experience. Dillian gave me a tough fight, but I feel like tough times can either make you or break you, and for me, it was tough, but it made me. I didn't give up, but I carried on, and it made me tougher. So as he had turned professional, I was kind of heading towards the Olympic route, and there was always saying, when this boy turns pro, we're gonna finish his career.
He was being treated as this national hero after winning gold at London 2012. But Dillian Whyte was saying, I know the street Anthony Joshua, whose background is very different, and he was calling him a fake.
As Anthony Joshua became more and more famous, more and more accomplished, then there was a target that Dillian Whyte was aiming at. And as he took aim at that target, the words that were coming out of his mouth got a little bit more nasty, a little bit more personal, to the point that Anthony Joshua just couldn't ignore him anymore.
You don't have to like the guy, but at least you have to give him his just due and respect, because he is a gold medalist. And I said, regardless of if you think he didn't look good winning it, it's a proper protocol for gold medalists. My whole thing was I was trying to calm down Dillian Whyte's anger. I'm like, just let it go, because that type of thing consumes your mind. My focus was to keep him focused on the proper things at hand.
Dillian's 100% trash talking, telling you exactly what he thinks is going to happen. I believed that he believed he was going to knock Anthony Joshua out.
So you've got Dillian representing, you know, the island of Jamaica, and you've got me representing the continent of Africa. You've got South London versus North London. You've got two British-born heavyweights. There was a lot in the mix. It was just bad intentions for years. And then finally we got to face off and square off in the square circle.